Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge etc. Jai Hind, your daily boost. Tithi Nakshatra and important anniversaries, a spiritual and historical insight of 9th December 2024, Monday, Bengali date 23 অগ্রহায়ণ 1431. As per Beni Madhavsil Ponjika, today's Tithi is Shukla Ashtami and up to 0530 hours, and after that Shukla Navami. Today's Nakshatra is Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra and up to 1313 hours, and after that Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Today is 344th day of the year. There are then 22 days left in 2024. Today is 50th Monday of 2024. Today is International Anti-Corruption Day. International Anti-Corruption Day has been observed annually on 9th December since the passage of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption on 31st October 2003 to raise public awareness for anti-corruption. Today is International Day of Commemoration and Dignity of the Victims of the Crime of Genocide and of the Prevention of this crime. The International Day of Commemoration and Dignity of the Victims of the Crime of Genocide and of the Prevention of this crime is celebrated on December 9th. The United Nations General Assembly established this day in 2015. On 11 September 2015, the UN General Assembly passed Resolution 69 by 323 establishing the International Day of Commemoration and Dignity of the Victims of the Crime of Genocide and of the Prevention of this crime to be held annually on 9th December. Today is World Techno Day. Get ready to celebrate Techno Day on December 9. This day has been celebrated since the late 1990s and is dedicated to honoring all things tech. From computers and cell phones to robots and AI, it's a great way for us to recognize how technology has advanced our lives in so many ways. Today is International Day of Veterinary Medicine. The International Day of Veterinary Medicine is celebrated on December 9th. It's a day to acknowledge the hard work of veterinary professionals who work to protect the health of animals worldwide. Today is birth anniversary of Miss Humai Bhairawala, 9th December 1913 to 15th January 2012. Humai Bhairawala, commonly known by her pseudonym Dalda 13, was India's first woman photojournalist. She began her career in 1938 working for the Bombay Chronicle, capturing images of daily life in the city. Bhairawala worked for the British Information Services from the 1940s until 1970 when she retired. In 2011, she was awarded Padma Vibhushan, the second highest civilian award of the Republic of India. She was amongst the first women in India to join a mainstream publication when she joined the Illustrated Weekly of India. A pioneer in her field, Bhairawala died at the age of 98. Google Doodle honored India's First Lady of the Lens in 2017 with a tapestry of Indian life and history drawn by guest doodler Samir Kulabhur. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Riccardo Giacconi, 6th October 1931 to 9th December 2018. Riccardo Giacconi was an Italian-American astrophysicist and a pioneer in the field of X-ray astronomy. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2002 for his groundbreaking work in astrophysics, particularly for his contributions to the discovery of cosmic X-ray sources, which opened up a new window for observing the universe. Nobel Prize in Physics 2002. Giacconi was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for pioneering contributions to astrophysics which have led to the discovery of cosmic X-ray sources. His work not only revealed new types of objects in the universe but also transformed how astronomers understand the high-energy universe. Riccardo Giacconi's work revolutionized the field of astronomy by enabling the observation of the universe in the X-ray spectrum. This opened up entirely new ways of studying high-energy phenomena in space, such as black holes, neutron stars, and the active galaxies. His contributions laid the foundation for much of modern astrophysics, and his leadership in major observatories and institutions had a lasting impact on the scientific community. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Ralph Buche, 7th August 1904 to 9th December 1971. Ralph Johnson Buche was an American political scientist, diplomat, and leading actor in the mid 20th century decolonization process and US civil rights movement, who received the 1950 Nobel Peace Prize for his late 1940s mediation in Israel. He is the first black Nobel laureate and the first person of African descent to be awarded a Nobel Prize. He was involved in the formation and early administration of the United Nations and played a major role in both the decolonization process and numerous UN peacekeeping operations. Buche served on the US delegation to both the Dumbarton Oaks Conference in 1944 and United Nations Conference on International Organization in 1945 that drafted the UN Charter. He then served on the American delegation to the first session of the United Nations General Assembly in 1946 and joined the UN as head of the trusteeship department, beginning a long series of troubleshooting roles and responsibilities related to decolonization. In 1948, Buche became an acting mediator for the Middle East, negotiating an armistice between Egypt and Israel. For this success, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1950. Buche continued to serve at the UN, working on crises in the Sinai 1956, the Congo 1960, Yemen 1963, Cyprus 1964, and Bahrain in 1970. Reporting directly to the UN Secretary General, he chaired study groups dealing with water resources in the Middle East. In 1957, he was promoted to Under Secretary General for Special Political Affairs, having prime responsibility for peacekeeping roles. In 1965, Buche supervised the ceasefire following the war between India and Pakistan. He retired from the UN in June 1971, dying 6 months later. In 1963, he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President John F. Kennedy. At the UN, Buche gained some such fame that Ebony magazine proclaimed him perhaps the most influential African American of the first half of the 20th century, and for nearly a decade he was the most celebrated African American of his time both in the US and abroad. Today is date anniversary of Mr. Niels Gustav Dahlen, 30th November 1869 to 9th December 1937. Niels Gustav Dahlen was a Swedish engineer and industrialist who was the long-term CEO of the AGA company and inventor of the AGA cooker and the Dahlen light. In 1912, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for his invention of automatic regulators for use in conjunction with gas accumulators for illuminating lighthouses and bows. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Fritz Haber, 9th December 1868 to 29th January 1934. Fritz Haber was a German chemist who received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1918 for his invention of the Haber-Bosch process, a method used in industry to synthesize ammonia from nitrogen gas and hydrogen gas. This invention is important for the large-scale synthesis of fertilizers and explosives. It is estimated that a third of annual global food production uses ammonia from the Haber-Bosch process and that this food supports nearly half the world's population. For this work, Haber has been called one of the most important scientists and industrial chemists in human history. Haber also, along with Max Born, proposed the Born's-Haber cycle as a method for evaluating the lattice energy of an ionic solid. Haber, a known German nationalist, is also considered the father of chemical warfare for his years of pioneering work developing and weaponizing chlorine and other poisonous gases during World War I. He first proposed the use of the heavier-than-air chlorine gas as a weapon to break the trench deadlock during the Second Battle of Ypres. His work was later used without his direct involvement to develop the Zyklon B pesticide used for the killing of more than 1 million Jews in gas chambers in the greater context of the Holocaust. After the Nazis' rise to power in 1933, Haber resigned from his position. Already in poor health, he spent time in various countries before Chaim Weizmann invited him to become the director of the Ship Research Institute, now the Weizmann Institute, in Rehoboth, mandatory Palestine. He accepted the offer but died of heart failure mid-journey in a Basel, Switzerland hotel on 29 January 1934, aged 65. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. James Rainwater, 9 December 1917 to 31st May in 1986. Leo James Rainwater was an American physicist who shared the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1975 for his part in determining the asymmetrical shapes of certain atomic nuclei. During World War II, he worked on the Manhattan Project that developed the first atomic bombs. In 1949, he began developing his theory that, contrary to what was then believed, not all atomic nuclei are spherical. His ideas were later tested and confirmed by Agabor's and Ben Mottelson's experiments. He also contributed to the scientific understanding of X-rays and participated in the United States Atomic Energy Commission and naval research projects. Rainwater joined the physics faculty of Columbia in 1946, where he reached the rank of full professor in 1952 and was named Pupin Professor of Physics in 1982. He received the Ernest Orlando Lawrence Award for Physics in 1963 and in 1975 was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery of the connection between collective motion and particle motion in atomic nuclei and the development of the theory of the structure of the atomic nucleus based on this connection. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. William Nunn Lipscomb Jr., 9 December 1919 to 14 April 2011. William Nunn Lipscomb Jr. was a Nobel Prize winning American inorganic and organic chemist working in nuclear magnetic resonance, theoretical chemistry, boron chemistry, and biochemistry. He won Nobel Prize in 1976. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Henry W. Kendall, 9 December 1926 to 15 February 1999. Henry W. Kendall was an American particle physicist who won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1990 jointly with Jerome Isaac Friedman and Richard E. Taylor for their pioneering investigations concerning deep inelastic scattering of electrons on protons and bound neutrons, which have been of essential importance for the development of the quark model in particle physics. Thank you very much for your patience.